Dạ rồi, bài 1, tốc độ 12.
Dạ, cả nhà đợi tiếp, anh đang livestream.
Dạ rồi.
Dạ rồi.
Không chỉ táo, hành tây cũng là một loại nông sản vô cùng phổ biến. Trung bình,
Ok.
Mỹ ăn gần 8,6 kg hành mỗi năm. Đây là lý do
Dạ rồi.
quốc gia sản xuất và
Ok, dạ rồi, mời cô Hương dẫn đoàn để đi về.
Em dẫn.
Cô Hương dẫn đi cô Hương.
Yeah, hello everyone. Today, I would like to invite all of you to join the Ewit race, the first Ewit race, lesson 1, the formula of the source of life, with the letter size 30 and speak 12. And now we are
On track.
Yeah, now we are on track. We are ready.
Yes.
Yeah,
We are
okay.
on
Now
track. We are ready.
We are on track and
We are
ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
The formula
of the source of life, reading 1. Currently, our society is being governed by 3 perspectives. The first perspective is the scientific perspective, the second is the religious and belief perspective, and the third is a perspective of morality principles. Regardless of where we live in the world, we are currently being influenced by 3 perspectives, and one of the laws that influences us greatly is the law of cause and effect and the law of causal condition interaction. If we imagine our current life is our current result simply the outcome of the seed we sowed in the past, there's a formula called the formula of the source of life. What is this formula? Let's find out. Formula for desired outcomes. Because plus favorable conditions equals desired outcome. Therefore, if we want to create a desired future, shouldn't we focus on creating the good cause right in this present moment? This knowledge, religion and belief, science and morality principles all lead to one statement. We need to understand the root cause of a person's life through these 3 perspectives to be considered to have a thorough understanding of the cause. When standing under the scientific perspective, why do I have this result today? If standing under the religious and belief perspective, why do I have this result today? If standing under the perspective of morality principles, why do I have this result today? Well, let us fully understand the cause of perspective to discuss the source of life of a person. Religion and belief, morality principles, science, the formula of the source of life. Take a piece of paper and write out the word result at the bottom and circle it. Then draw an arrow leading to the result. If we had to choose one word that directly represents the result of life today, that affects our life result, it would be choice. Experts give us the message that choice directly affects the result of our lives today. But let's reflect. Is it true that the chain of choices we made in the past determines the results of our lives today? When we reflect, we often grant ourselves the right to choose the good things in life. However, when it comes to unpleasant things, the tendency of our inner self is to attribute the choice to others. If we contemplate, even the desirable and undesirable situation in life are owing to our own choices. And we will understand that the source of life originates from ourselves. Therefore, the source of of life originates from me, but it is not my fault. Wait, why is it not my fault? It is because we didn't know any better. And if your awareness had been better, we would not have made that choice. At that time, awareness was only at that level, which led to that choice. Therefore, the choice we made at the exact moment was correct. This leads to a famous saying: if you want to change circumstances, change your personality. This explains that the person repeatedly creates the same circumstances due to their formed personality. However, we do not know what kind of personality is suitable for each outcome. So, if we focus on changing personality, it is not yet the root cause. This is because no specific personality trait dictates that the person's life will be good. Researchers studying wealthy people found that one person became rich in one way and another in a different way. They have different personality. Therefore, any personality can potentially lead to wealth, but any personality can also lead to poverty. Ultimately, people realize that even if they change their personality, they could know which one was appropriate. Thus, focusing on changing personality is not the root cause, and the result will still be. But if you don't change your personality, you don't change the result. Yes, focusing on changing personality doesn't work because it isn't the root cause. The experts inform us that persons' habit created their personality. After this realization, they started asking us to focus on changing habits. But habits will lead to a good personality, resulting in choices. After some time, people discover that changing habits changes personality, and changing personality changes the result. However, they realize that habits also not the root cause. They investigated further and found that a person's action determines their habits. So they said that just good action will lead to good habits, good habits lead to good personality, and a good personality will lead to a good destiny or good life result. Following this, they try to manage people's action, but they discover that actions still repeat at the old pattern, and changing a person's action is very difficult. They succeeded in changing the action, but focusing on changing action did not last. Eventually, experts provided us with the insight that a person determines their action. They told us that good thoughts will create good actions will result in good habits will lead to good personality, which then leads to the final result, choice. As the saying goes, so a thought-driven action, so an action-driven habit, so a habit-driven personality, so personality-driven destiny. We will focus on how people could cultivate a good mindset and good thoughts. However, with research over time, people discover that even when they try to control their thoughts, negative thoughts still repeatedly emerge in their lives. These thoughts always present in their minds. They begin to investigate what determines a person's form. By focusing on thoughts, a person continues to repeat negative thoughts in life. The question is raised: what shapes a person's thought? My level mentors and experts pointed out to us that it is their belief that shape their thoughts. Essentially, humans always hold a belief about something. This belief can be countered to their desire or aligned with their desire. This is also known as a positive or negative belief. For example, someone says, if you're trying to lose weight, but I can lose any, I'm so discouraged. I keep trying, but it doesn't work. Normally, our thinking assesses that they lack a belief in their ability to lose weight. However, the deeper truth is that the person holds the belief that they are very fat and will never be able to become fit. Whatever belief a person holds, their life results will accordingly. This is because belief directly affects their choices, and whatever belief is how the result manifests. If we hold the belief that we cannot solve something, the result is that we can do it. Human belief does not have 99% belief is only or 100% conviction that you hold the belief. The difference lies on the direction of that belief, whether the lies with or goes against the desire. Humans need this knowledge.
goes again and with desire.
Someone believes
Know that
I'm
it's
not
a
beautiful,
husband,
no matter
and
how
it
I
would
am
be
too. I'm
some
not beautiful.
unbelief, and
The
I'm not
result is that
beautiful
the
no
person
matter what I
believes
do.
they are
I'm not
ugly,
beautiful.
so
What it does
nothing
is that a
makes them
husband believes in
beautiful.
the opposite.
Therefore,
It's
some people
nothing. They do make
imitate
them
others
beautiful.
and
Therefore,
love or
some people
nurture
imitate others
but their
because they
inner
could not
belief is
draw.
that they are
The
ugly
inner
person
belief
getting a
is the
nurture,
ugly
which
person
thus it results
getting
in
hold up
them
and with
damaging their
success with
nose.
that
Conversely, a
damage
person who
in their
already
nose.
believes
Conversely,
they
a
are
person who
beautiful, that
already believes
positive,
they
it
are
makes them
beautiful
even
and they
more
can
beautiful.
protect you, they make them
People
even
who
more
hold the belief
beautiful.
that they are
People all
happy
believe
become
and they are
happier when
happy
they get
because
married.
happier when
Conversely,
they
if you
get
hold the
married.
belief that we are
Conversely, they
miserable,
believe that
then
we're
whoever you
miserable
marry,
and wherever
we
they
will
never say
remain
they're miserable.
miserable.
There
There
is
was a
always a
story about a
woman whose
woman
husband
whose
was
husband
writing
was
book. He
launching a
was
book.
famous guy,
He's a famous
development trainer,
self-development
a
trainer. A
instead
reporter,
of
instead of
interviewing him,
interviewing him,
play a
play a
talk
touch
trick
rate
and
internal
turn to
to
his
his
wife and
wife,
ask,
asking,
your
"Your
husband is
husband is a
very
very
famous,
famous
well-developed
self-development
trainer,
trainer,
and he
and he
has
has
helped
helped
many
many
people
people
change
change
their
their
life
lives
and
and
become
become
happy.
happy." But
Honestly,
honestly,
that
if
is that
he
very
brought
famous.
happiness to
The
you,
woman
you
answered
wouldn't answer
immediately, no,
immediately.
I
No,
didn't. I was
everyone
a
in the
lie.
house was
One of you
alarmed,
guys is said
wondering
that,
why she said that.
and if
If
it
it
would
would
damage
damage
her
her
husband,
husband's
that would be
reputation.
in other
Another
words,
reporter
that
pressed
the
on,
woman
text
asking,
him,
so
"So has your
has your
husband truly
husband
brought you a
quickly brought
happy
your
result,
you
happy
a
life
happy
result?"
life is that
And
they
she
said
said
no,
no.
and then
Then now the person skillfully
person
asked the
still
more
you
urgent
ask
empty
and
question.
the
The
question,
woman
and then
smiled and
five
replied,
reply, how can a
"How can
man
a man
bring
bring happiness to a woman? A
happiness
woman
to
must
a
have
woman? A
happiness on
man
her
must
own,
have
and
happiness
only then can a man
on
bring
her
her
own,
more
and only
happiness.
then
He
can
hasn't
a
brought me
man bring
happiness
her
and
more
must be a happy
only
person, and
a
he's just
happiness
the one who
must be
brings me
a
more
happy person,
happiness."
and he is just the
Internally, we
one
like to
who bring
believe
me
that the
more
others
happiness.
love us. We
Internally,
don't believe
we
our
like to
husband or
believe
children
the
love us,
landlord,
so we
to
strive and
believe the
demand their
husband,
loves.
or
And what is the
and we try
resulting
and
outcome?
demand the
People
Lord.
do
And
not
what
love
is the
us
resulting
because
outcome?
internally we
People
have that
do not love
belief,
us because
so we don't
internally
see
we
the
like them
result
to get,
externally.
and we don't
Therefore,
see the
we only
result
need to change
externally.
our
Therefore, we only need to
inner
change
belief
the
system to
our
change the
belief
result.
system,
It's
and
a
in
concept we need to
there's a
grasp.
concept
The
we
inner
need to
belief
grasp,
versus the
and in
conscious desire.
versus
For
the
example,
conscious
when a
desire.
woman
For
or a man
example,
gets
when
married,
a
they
man
expect the
and a
marriage to
woman
be
and a man
harmonious and
marriage, they
happy.
expect the marriage to
However,
be
deep
happiness,
down, some
happiness.
people inner
However, deep
belief
down,
does not
some
include a
people inner
harmonious
belief
and
does
happy
not
marriage.
include
So
harmonious
the
and
conscious
happy
desire
marriage, and
is for a
the conscious
harmonious and
desire
happy
of
marriage.
harmonious
But
and
if the
happy
inner
marriage.
belief
But if
contradicts
the
this
inner belief
desire, the
contradicts
result is that
desire,
the inner
the
belief
result is
always
that inner
triumphs
belief always triumph
over the
over the
conscious
conscious
desire.
desire. And
If the
and
inner
the inner
belief and the
belief and the
conscious
conscious
desire are
desire are
unified,
unified, will life
life
become
becomes
wonderful. The
wonderful. The
conscious
conscious
desire of
desire
beauty
usually
and the
aims
core
for
good
good
thing
things,
would
for
give her
example, a
a
happy
happy
marriage, a
marriage,
success in
successful
work, and
home, a
good
good relationship
relationships with
with
people.
give her
Almost
almost
everyone
every
wishes
virtue
for a
for
positive
positive
outcome.
outcome.
If
The
the
conscious
conscious
desire
desire
is
is
unified with the
unified with
inner
inner
self
belief,
belief. Human
human
life is
life is
wonderful.
wonderful.
Human
Human struggle
structure
at this
at
point
its
to
core
experience
between
focus
true
and
and
belief.
belief. It
This is
is
a
a
crucial
crucial
gateway of
place
brain
of brain
mindset and the
mindset and
person's
the
inner
deeper inner
subconscious,
subconscious,
which often
which often
conflict with
conflict with
each
other.
other.
Ultimately, a
Ultimately, the
inner
inner
self
self
will women
wins.
try to
People
the
try to
conscious
use their
one
conscious
between the
mindset to
inner
change the
self,
inner
and
self.
science often
Science often
favor
favors this
this
approach.
approach, and
If science was
try
entirely
correct and
correct, the lives
make
of
people
people who
follow
follow
science,
science
which
would
is
all be
wonderful.
wonderful.
However,
However, the
scientific
scientific
perspective show
perspective
us the
shows
inner
us that
belief
our
as
inner
the
beliefs
first
are what
determinant
determine
of
our
the life.
result.
There is primordial
Therefore,
the
we
belief
must change
system
the
to
belief
generate
system
life.
to change
Merely
result.
thinking
Merely
about the
thinking about
external
it
will not
externally
generate
will not
life.
change the
However,
result.
belief is a
However,
not
belief is
soluble
also the
for
root
the
cause.
cleanliness
So
and
changing
conscious
belief
heart.
doesn't
It knows why
suffice. We don't
we
know
trust
why
person there
we
a
trust
person and there is
certain
a
person. So we
picture.
raise the
What
next question.
determines a
What
person's belief?
determines a
This
person's
person
belief? What is
mental
a
myth
person's mental image of
developments
the
in
seeds of
our
mental
image,
image?
and you cannot
It
believe
determines
that
the
this
belief.
mental
The
is
seeds
in
of
our
mental
mind. It
image images in our mind determine our belief, which determine the result of our life.
Mentoring is less coordinates of the small
Mentoring
action
is
side
the
true to be
coordinate on a
close
small
to us to
exercise
people
to
who
people
feel
closest to
most familiar
people who
with
feel
them
most familiar
without
with
thinking
them
write their name
without thinking
vertically
what
in
their
both
name
sides
vertically
and
on both
isn't true
sides,
fight
and
was
it's
set
not true
of the
survive
mental
work and
analysis of
focus the mental
our
image of
feeling
your
and
feelings and
emotion
emotions
about that
about
person.
that
You can
person.
stop
You can
and
stop and
do
do the
the
exercise
exercise
here
here
and then
and then
continue reading,
concentrating.
because we have that
Because
set of
where the
mental
seeds of
image in our
mental
head.
image in
It
our head
projects the result of
correct
our
the
lives.
results of our
Suddenly,
life
we
in
see
our
our
head.
father
Repeat
is
the
handsome,
project.
funny, or
Then some
gentle.
funny
But
and
sometimes
gentle,
other people
but
might not
sometimes
see his
even might not
gentleness.
see him
They
gentle.
might
No,
even
we
see
might
him
even see
as a
him as
trait.
strict.
Yet
Yes,
we see him as gentle.
you see him
eyes,
represented in
when
our
even he
mind,
sleeps,
in
he
our
will not
right, and we
perceive him
sleep,
as
the mind
diligent.
sleep and
Why?
else
We
is
assume he
gentle.
must
Why?
be
We
tired,
assume that
which
he
is
must be
why he
tired,
is
which
sleeping.
is why
But
that
if
is
the seeds of
sleeping. But
mental image
if the seed, the
hold on,
mental
if our
images we
Father
hold
is
in the
next in
puzzle
us,
list,
then
knows that
even though he
even
is
when
walking,
he's
he might
working,
say,
we may
look at
stay
that
look at
lazy
that lazy
attitude. The
attitude. The
results of
winners of
external
external
life
life
are
are
projected from the
projected
seeds of
from the
mental
seeds of
images in
mental
our
images
minds.
in our
The
mind.
story of
The
the pen.
story of the
Let us
pen
borrow
went
this story from
brother
Geshe
story
Michael
from
Roach.
Jason
Imagine you are
Roach.
holding an
Imagine
object
you are
and
holding an
frequently
object
use
and
perhaps a pen or
frequently
writing
grab
tool.
a pen and writing
Now
tool
consider
and
another
consider
creature, a
another
very
creature and
intelligent animal living
intelligent
in our
and
house, a
living in
puppy.
our house.
When
A
we see
puppy,
this,
when
we
we
call
see
it a
it,
pen
we
or
call it a
writing
pen or
instrument
a
because we use it to
writing
write.
instrument
But
because
when the
we
puppy
use it to
encounters
write.
this
When
object,
the
it chews
puppy
on it.
encounters
The
this object,
puppy's
it chews
action of
on it.
chewing
The puppy
makes us
actually
think
chews
that
on
the
it, makes
puppy
us
perceives
think
this
the puppy
object as a
perceives
bone
this
or a
object
toy,
and a
which
bone or
is
toy,
why it
which is why
chews. The
it
puppy
chew, and
perceives
the
this
puppy
as a
perceives
pen.
it as a
It could
pen.
use it
It
to
could be
write. It
use it
means
to
we
write.
use
This means when we
we
see
see the
object and
object
call
and
it a
call it a
pen
pen
because
because we
visualize using
visualize
is to
using
write.
it
What
to
about the
write.
puppy
What
is
about the
perceive
puppy? It
ignore and
proceeds
choose
to
on
gnaw
it,
and chew
is
on it and
perceive it
perceives
as a
this as a
toy and
toy
a
or a
bone.
bone.
Who
Who
is
is
right
right in
in
our
our
opinion? The
opinion?
puppy
The
perceives
puppy
this as
perceives
a
it
bone
as a
or a
bone or
toy,
a
and
toy,
we
and we
perceive it
perceive
as a
as
pen
a
or
pen and a
writing
white
instrument. Both
instrument,
are
both are
correct.
correct.
Now
And
let's
let's
put
put that
that
object in the
object in
room,
the room.
and one
No
is
one
there,
is there, neither
neither us
us
or the
nor the
puppy.
puppy.
If one is here,
If
what
no
is
one
this
is here, what
object?
is
It
the
is nothing
object?
at all.
It is
And if
nothing
that
at
is
all.
that,
It's not
is
that it
that because
doesn't
there's no
exist, but because
subject
there is no
perceived it,
subject
no
perceiving
subject
it, no subject
recognizes
cognizing it,
it, and
no
no
subject feeling
subject
it. At
feeling
that
it, and
moment,
at
it
that
is
moment
nothing.
it's
Being
nothing.
nothing
Being
does not
nothing
mean it
doesn't
doesn't
mean what it
exist.
doesn't
All
exist.
things have the
All
nature
things
of
have the
emptiness.
nature
One
of
thing has the
emptiness.
nature
All
of
things have the
emptiness
nature
or
of emptiness,
potentiality. It is
personality.
nothing
It
when
is
there is no
nothing when
subject
there is
perceiving
no
it. So
perceived
what is it? It
subject
is
perceiving it.
created by
And
the
so what is
subject that
it is way
cognizes
and
it
the
and the
subject that
subject that
recognizes it
perceives
and
it.
subject that
Now we step
perceives it.
in and we
Now
look at
step
that
in
object.
and to
At
look
that
at the
moment, it
object.
is a
At the
pen.
moment
But
it
if a
is a
dog
pen,
steps
but
in,
if the
it
dog
will
steps in,
perceive
it
it
will
as a
both
toy
perceive
or a
as a
bone.
toy
If
and a
we and the
bone.
puppy
And if
stepped
we're
in at
able
same
to
times,
step in
for
on
us
same
it is a
time,
pen, and
for
for
it
the
it's a
puppy it
pen,
is a
and for the
bone.
puppy
So
it's a bone. And a
a
special
specific
question
question
arises by
arises.
determining
What
the nature
determines
of
the nature
the
of that
subject.
object?
Is it
Is it
determined
determined
by
by
the
the external
external
nature
nature
affecting us,
affecting us,
or
and
is it
is it
reflected from
reflecting
within
from
us to the
within us to
outside?
the
We
outside?
find that the
We find
nature of
that the
this
nature
object
of
is
this
determined
object
by
is
what is
determined
within
by
us,
what
by the seeds of
is
mental
within us,
images in
by
our
the
mind
seeds of
that
mental
dictates
images in our
what
mind
this
that
object is.
dictates
The
what
seeds
this
of
object
mental
is. The
images
seeds
in
of
our
mental
mind
images in
project
our mind
outward to
projects
manifest that
inwards
reality.
what
Oh, the
manifest
step and father is
reality.
gentle
Always
person.
with that
Essentially,
father
the
and
father is
gentle
neither
person,
gentle nor anyone.
essentially the
But
father
because we
and
have that mental
neither
image
Ransom and
inside, it
anyone, and
projects
because we have the
outward.
mental image
Our Father
inside,
being
it's project
gentle,
outwards.
diligent,
Our Father
uncomplaining is
will
based on our
gentle,
cognition of
diligent,
Him.
and
It is
complain based
because we
on the
hold that seeds of mental
cognitions in
images
Him.
about
It's
our
because
Father
we hold
that
the
we
seeds of
perceive Him
mental
that
image
way.
about
The
a
mental
person
images
without
within a
perceiving
person
that way.
determine the
A
results
mental
that
image
reflects
with
their
a person
external life
determine the
reality.
result and reflect
Therefore,
the
the world they
external
perceive is
real life
based on
and
the
just what
mental
was
images in our
perceived
own.
is based on
So
the
if we
mental
want to
image
change
in
the
our.
external
And if we
world,
want to
or in
change the
other words,
external
if we
world,
want to
in
change
other
our
words, if we want to change the
destiny according to
direction
scientific
according to that
perspective,
scientific perspective,
changing the mental
then the
image
mental
changes
images
destiny.
changes
Changing
destiny.
the mental
Changing
image
the mental
changes
image
destiny.
changes
Changing the
destiny.
mental
Changing
image
the mental
changes
image changes
destiny.
destiny. The
The
tendency of our
tendency of
inner
our inner
psychological life
psychological
is
life
very
is very
interesting.
interesting.
No,
The
the
longer
longer
people
people
live
a person
together, a
does
person
not
doesn't
nurture
nurture and
and
enlarge the
enlarge the
positive mental
positive
images they hold
thinker
about
about
their
their loved
loved
one,
ones.
the
The negative
image
images
will
will manifest.
manifest.
This
This
is a
is
miraculous
miraculous
phenomenon
phenomenon
of the
of the
principle of
principle of
light and
light and the
darkness.
darkness.
The
The
like to set that close belief to someone is going to enlarge the positive images we have of them by default. There's an images that will emerge in our minds. That is when we first meet someone, we generally hold positive mental images of each other. But the longer we live together, if we fail to enlarge positive images of the other person, the unpleasant images will manifest. Thus, unstable reality often occur in a social relationships leading to toxic life. Neighbor's wife is
or
better,
my
or my
neighbor's
neighbor's
bride is
child
better
is
than
better than
mine.
mine.
Someone else, my
Someone
husband
else's
is
husband
better
is
than
better. My
mine.
husband
Good.
is not
And
good.
other
Other
people's
people's
wives, they
wives
are
are
beautiful
beautiful.
and
Other
other
people's
wives
wives are
good.
good.
Why?
Why?
Because we only
Because
meet
we
the
only
neighbor husband
meet the
and wife
neighbor's
briefly and
husband
see
or
the
wife
beautiful
briefly, and
image.
we see the
Our
beautiful
husband and
image.
wife is around all
But
the
our
time,
husband or
and
wife
because
is
we
around
don't
all the
know
time,
how
and
to
because we
enlarge
don't know
positive
how to
image
enlarge the
with this
positive
environment,
images, we see the poor
and we only
images.
need to
We
change
only
the
need to
image
change
to
the
what
image
direction
toward the direction we
we're
desire
designed
to
our
orient our
image
toward
toward it.
what we
We
want.
hold the good
If we
and
hold
beautiful
good,
images
beautiful
of
images,
realistic
the
stuff,
belief
their
system will
automatically change, and the
automatically
result
change,
will change
and the
in an
result will
instant.
change
Therefore, a
in an
person
instant.
can maintain beautiful
Therefore, if a
images
person
of
can
loved
maintain
ones,
beautiful
especially
images of loved
positive
ones, especially
images of
positive
people, will change
images
the
of people,
entire
will
face
change our entire
condition
face
regarding
condition
people.
regarding people.
Maintain a good
Maintaining
image
a good
of our
image
maintain
of
a good
health, maintaining
image
a
of
good
social
image in social
relationship, maintain
relationships,
a good image
maintaining a
in
good image
ourselves
of
and
ourselves
our
and
inner
our
soul,
inner self,
maintaining a
maintaining
good
a good
image in
image
our
of our
finance,
finances,
changing to mental
changing the
image,
mental
changes
image, changes
destiny.
destiny.
They
We
only
only
need
need
to
to
have
have one
one
simple
simple
realization
relationship
according to the
according to
same
that simple
perspective,
thinking.
the
The
source of
source
life.
of
A
life
person has only
originates
mental
from mental
images in
image
our
in our
mind.
mind. We
We
only
only
need
need
to
to
remember
remember
one
one
thing:
thing: the
to
source of
keep
mental
mental
image in
image
our
from
mind
mind,
determine the
determine
result
the results
of
of
our
our
life
life
today.
today.
It leads to a
This
profound
leads
psyche.
to the
If we fully
profound
grasp it,
saying,
every
it is
matter
not
should begin
fully
with the
grasped.
result. Every
Every
matter should
matter
begin
should
with the
begin with the
result.
result, destination should begin
Because
with
the
the result.
simplest way,
Because the
to
simple
achieve
way to
anything we
achieve
are about to
anything
do
is
is
about
start
is
from
to
the
start
result.
from the
For
result.
example,
For
if it is
example, why it
difficult for
is
a
so
person
difficult
marriage
for
to
a
be
person
happy,
married today?
because we do
It
not
is
start the
because we
marriage
doesn't
by
start the marriage
defining the
and
result
defining
of
the result
marriage.
of the
The
marriage.
results we
The
have
results we have
are
are
often
based
based on
on the
observing those around
those
us. Our
around us.
mind holds the
Our mind
image
holds the
of a
image
bad
of the
marriage
best
result. So when we
marriage
start, we
results, and
already
we
have
had
that
already
result. All
that we
human
are
endeavor
confident
starts
and
from the
use that
result.
from the
The
result
result
of the
in
marriage.
person's
A
mind, the
person's
mental
mind
image
is
in a
mental
person's
image,
mind
or a person's
is the
mind
result
is
of
the result
external
external
reality. When
reality.
the
When the
destination is seen,
destination
there
is
is no
seen, there
need
is
to
no need
rush.
to
If
rush,
the
and the
destination is
time change
unseen, why
direct.
rush?
When we
When we
start
start with the
results
result, our journey
journey
automatically
automatically
changes.
start
It
with
is
it
like
because knowing where
knowing
we
where
are
I'm
going, no
going.
matter
No
that means
matter
a
means to
transfer. We are
transfer.
if
We
we
get
don't
that
know
we
where
can
our
get that.
destination
If we
is,
don't know where our
equipped with
destination
the
is,
most
even we
modern
have
life,
we are
we
equipped
cannot reach
with the
the
modern
destination. And
facilities, you cannot reach the
every matter
destiny.
should begin with
Thus,
the
every
result,
matter
and
should
the
begin
result
with the
is formed
result. The
from the
result
mental
is
image
formed
in
from the
our
mental
mind. Therefore,
images in our
simply
mind.
changing the
Therefore,
mental
simply
image
changing
can
the
make
mental
a
image
difference.
changes
When
destiny.
the
When the
images
image
is
is
clear,
clear,
our
our
life
life
become
becomes
clearer,
clearer.
hence
Hence,
it's
every matter
holistic.
begins
Every
with a
matter
result.
begins with the
So we can
result. We can
conclude that
conclude that
according to the
according to the
scientific
scientific perspective of
perspective at
management,
this moment, the seeds of mental image in our mind determine the result of our life. Now, the question is raised, what determines the mental images in our mind? This is because those images appear spontaneously in our heads. What we hear, see, say, and know determine the mental images in our mind. It is questions that we hear, what we see, what we say, what we know that determines our mental images, and what we are struggling with most often is the knowing that is detrimental to the future. Currently, the knowing regarding marriage is highly detrimental to the mental images we hold. Most of the images are negative. The knowing regarding child education gives us images that are not very positive. The knowing about this life, the knowing about people gives us disadvantageous images of people. The knowing we have about careers and business in life makes things increasingly arduous, especially our knowing about health. This knowing has influenced us from birth until now, because according to the scientific perspective, we cannot say about the time before birth. So from the moment we are born until now, what we know, what we see, what we say, and what we hear have influenced our mental images. If we live in a tribe, a village, or lineage where the average lifespan people is between 120 and 160 years, would we feel an old and decrepit when 60 years old? Or would we still feel like at the earlier youth? What we know about health, what we hear about health, and what we see about health, what we say about health is different from those who live in a village or lineage where the average lifespan is 60 or 70 years. In the latter case, people around 60 years old are mostly willing now. If we were 60 then, wouldn't we feel like we were about to go close to that? If we live in lineage where the average monthly income is of the adult is around $1 million, no less than 24 billion VND, How would we
was
feel today
200
if
million,
our
a
income
job
were
ad would be
200
an
million
ad will
VND?
pay extra
How would we
widgets
feel?
what we yes
So
say
what we
and
hear
now
C say and now determine our mental images. But if the actual lineage circles just to afford to effort full, and the highest income, anyone has 20 million or 30 million VND, how would we feel with an income of 200 million VND? Wonderful, right? If only one star appears in the sky, in the future a constellation of stars will appear. Therefore, in society, when someone achieves something wonderful and excel, it will lead to a chain of stars emerging. What people will see, say, and know will graduate to change accordingly, and we will change the image of society. At this time, achieving peace and joy is simpler than being angry. In the future, someone will say that comprehensive wealth is simpler than poverty. Gradually, what people hear, see, say, and know will change socially. A society will undergo a massive shift. If only a few persons thoroughly understand life, society will also understand life. Because of the how seen, spoken, and known is constantly changing. There is a Japanese story about researchers studying the behavior of very intelligent monkey. The monkey loves sweet potatoes, so scientists gave them sweet potato, but first brought them with sand to observe their reaction. The monkeys liked them, but thought the sand unpleasant. Yet they still had to eat. One beautiful day, a female monkey accidentally dropped her sweet potato into water. She picked up and ate it, finding it delicious. From then on, she knew how to wash the potato before eating. She taught her mother, father, and sibling, and gradually her family taught the surrounding families. Scientists make every monkey that learned the washing method. When the 100th monkey was reached, something surprising happened. The monkey has not been contact with any monkey and had never been taught how to wash the potato. But when given the potato, it spontaneously went to find water and wash it. Observing all monkeys from the 101st onward, they gradually all knew how to do it. The phenomenon even spread to other islands, in spite of the geographical distance, where monkeys could not possibly travel between islands, yet the monkeys these also knew how to wash the potato. A person's life and society will continuously transform when we change what we hear, see, say, and know, and change the mental image of our future. This assignment of condition will have others change in the future as well. Therefore, when living in a family, we are listening to transform ourselves first all the time. As our mental images change regarding ourselves and those around the family are automatically changes too. Thus, there is no need to seek change another, just focusing on changing ourselves. This means changing our mental images about ourselves and others on. This means changing our knowing about ourselves, our knowing about humanity, and our knowing about our love, our wholesome condition and result. This is how we change the image, and subsequently we change what we say. The formula of changing the mental image is control what we hear and see, change what we say and know. Then we change destiny. First, we change the knowing, the changing, the saying, and control the hearing and seeing. Gradually changing the mental image changes destiny.
Actually changing the mental image changes